Good evening. We do have a member of the Minister Alliance with us this evening. Mark, would you please come forward?
Thank you. Would you bow your heads with me in prayer? Lord, we thank you that you are unchanging, unwavering. You are steadfast in your faithfulness. Lord, when we come into dark situations or stressful situations and we face decisions that are very difficult, we're thankful that you are there to guide us and comfort us. Lord, I ask you to be with the leaders of the city, that you would guide and direct their knowledge and their decisions that would be of the benefit of the community. Lord, I ask your protection over all the first responders, the maintenance people, the police, the Parks and Rec, everybody that works so hard to keep this city what it is today. Lord, give us the strength to do so and let us know that you are always there. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Please join me for a pledge of allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I call the August 5th, 2024 Board of Alderwomen meeting to order. City Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Rachel Kilmer.
Here.
Tracy Newcomer. Pam Pope.
Here.
Sierra McMichael.
Here.
Kelly Netto.
Here.
And Mayor Dana Webb.
Here, thank you. The next item on the agenda is new business deletions or continuances. We do not have any of those this evening, so we will move on to the next item, which is public comments. Do we have any public comments tonight?
There are none.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is a consent agenda. These items are considered on the consent agenda so that members of the Board of Alderwomen, by unanimous consent, can designate routine items to be approved by one motion. Tonight, we have approval of the July 15th, 2024 Board of Alderwomen meeting minutes and expenditures through August 1st, 2024.
I make a motion we approve the consent agenda. A second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. The next item on the agenda is unfinished business. We do not have any of that this evening, so we'll move on to new business. The first item under new business is discussion, consideration, and possible action for a resolution authorizing the city clerk to complete certain records that have met retention schedule in accordance with the City of Oak Grove retention policy. Kim?
Yes, this is a resolution pursuant to the city's records retention policy that was adopted by the board on June 1st, 2020, setting the minimum records retention schedule for the city documents. Attached to the resolution is Exhibit A, a list of the documents that have reached that the requirement and are ready for disposition. So,
Thank you, Kim. Does the board have any questions for Kim? I'm looking for a motion.
I make a motion that we approve the disposition of the records that were provided to us on Exhibit A.
A second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the resolution authorizing the city clerk for the retention records. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. The next item on the agenda is discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding request to purchase 3 police mobile radios in the amount of $15,790.11. Chief?
Thank you, Mayor. This request is in regards to much the appreciation of the board in our expansion of manpower. Over the past 3 years, we have added 3 officers to the department. In doing so, we have to look at the equipment that is readily available, that which we assign full-time to the officer and that which is in reserve for mass events or part-time officers that come on shift and help us with normal duty. So in that, at the beginning of the year, we had put in an expansion request for 3 tasers, 3 body cams, 3 radios, and 3 guns. The radios will require us to come before the board due to the cost being over $10,000. These are our current radios that we use on the road, and this would be for the radios, all accessories and equipment, as well as the programming through Motorola, or which we use Kaminko in downtown Kansas City. So I'm just requesting the ability to purchase those, but I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Chief. Does the board have any questions for Chief?
I'm just curious what the lifespan is on those radios. How long? Yeah, just curious. Yeah.
You're going to get a 5-year warranty
Okay.
on those, and then after 5 years, they may continue to work, but you're not going to be able to repair anything that's a major malfunction.
Got it. So you kind of just plan for 5, and anything great past that's a cherry on top, basically.
Pretty much every bit of electronics, we've got about a 5-year max, yes.
Interesting.
But no, they'll continue to work. We have radios that are working well past that 5 years.
Okay.
But it's just, that's how long they will cover them warranty-wise.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of 3 Motorola APX 6000 radios in the amount of $15,790.11.
I second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the 3 radios for the police department in the amount of $15,790.11. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. The next item on the agenda is discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding and accepting a bid from Midwest Injection Incorporated for the 2024 wastewater holding cell sludge removal project. Corey?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, so during the wastewater treatment process, excess or waste sludge is produced and stored for removal at a later date. The city has a total of 3 holding cells located at 1300 Northeast 3rd Street. That's our main pump station address. Cell number 1 is used for overflow during high rain events. The other 2 are used for sludge storage. Holding cell number 2 holds an estimated 3.9 million gallons and is at max capacity. Holding cell number 3 is nearly half full and holds an estimated 1.9 million gallons. An RFP was posted in the local newspaper on July 18th to begin receiving proposals for sludge removal. The bid opening was held on July 30th. This contract will be for 2 years, if approved, removing 2.5 million each year. The bid amount from Midwest Injection is $73,750 each year for a grand total of $147,500. $110,000 was budgeted for sludge hauling this year, year 2024. Staff recommends entering into an agreement with Midwest Injection. If awarded, the contractor will start dredging and land applying later this fall after the farmer has removed his crops. And then I have a little blip here from the EPA's website that might help answer any additional questions if you have any. Land application of wastewater biosolids involves spreading, injecting, or incorporating the residuals into the soil. When managed correctly, organic byproducts from the wastewater treatment process add value as fertilizers and soil amendments. Land application is an excellent way to recycle wastewater residuals as long as the material is quality controlled. This is done by taking a series of soil samples before, during, and after the land application to determine proper amounts of application. The Missouri Department of Natural Resources allows organic byproducts from wastewater and wastewater management to be used in agricultural applications, similar to the more traditional available fertilizers and products you see sold in stores. Biosolids are regularly used on agricultural fields to promote growth and crop production. They add several vital nutrients to the soil, including nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, and sulfur, copper, iron, sodium, and zinc. According to the last report put out by the EPA, 56% of biosolids were land applied to either golf courses, gardening and landscaping, or applied to agriculture, whereas only 27% went to a straight landfill. We also have our chief wastewater plant operator here. If you have any questions I cannot answer. And with that, I'll be happy to take questions if you have any.
Corey, I did wonder, there was such a huge difference in the bids. Why?
Good question. So I can only tell you what we were, or what I was told, and that's that because, they've all asked for the bid tabs. So they're aware how low they were, but their hopes were to get their foot in the door. We would like to be on an annual or semi-annual program after these first 2 years to keep up with the sludge removal process, and their hopes are that by being low bid and getting their foot in the door, they could potentially be a contender going forward. And they are fairly close. I mean, they're in Iowa, I believe, but they're not very far away. So that may
There's no difference in how it's done or how it's handled?
they all have the same rules. We've applied the rules on what we want them to do and how we want them to apply it. And they've got strict rules to follow with the DNR and the EPA guidelines, so they can't really do it a different way.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Interesting. So are most municipalities in our area on a regular schedule? And are we behind? It sounds like we're behind on this. When's the last time we did this?
Yeah. So Brian can correct me if I'm wrong, but in the year 2020, there was a company hired who came in and began the process, but they had to be let go because of various reasons. Number one, they were well beyond their time frame of getting the job done. And after multiple warnings and et cetera, they got let go. So the job never got finished in the first place.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions for Corey or Corey's staff? Then at this time, I would like for our city attorney to make comments on the contract, please.
Thanks, Mayor. As I was reading back through the agreement this afternoon, I noticed we had a couple spots in there where we had some cross-references that were just incorrect. We fixed those this afternoon, along with clarifying in the agreement that while the total contract amount's $147,500, it's going to actually be paid out to the contractor $73,750 in 2024 and $73,750 in 2025. So the total's still the same, but we just thought it would be better if it was clarified like that. As I said, we've made those corrections, but didn't have time to get that redistributed to you all. So if you are okay with doing so, you can still approve it tonight with those changes just by making a motion to approve the agreement with, who are these people? Midwest Injection, Inc., in substantially the form that's been presented to the board this evening.
Sorry if you already said this. If we're doing this in 2024 and 2025, when would the next time when would it need to be done again?
So after 2025, after that year?
Yeah.
Well,
How many years?
we're hoping to be getting on an annual or semi-annual program after next year. So I guess we're going to judge our holding cells and see the capacity what we think we can begin holding and maybe judge it from there. But the plan is to go yearly or semi after that.
And that'll be worked into the budget, I assume, the 73,000.
Chris, was that the only concern in the contract, was just splitting the payment, basically?
Was it, I'm sorry?
Was the splitting the payment into 2 years your only concern in the contract?
No, it was that, and then there's a provision, they're all standard things that are in every one of our agreements, like for a payment bond. State law requires that because when if somebody, I don't even know if it would apply here, but if this contractor had a subcontractor or they bought supplies from somebody else and then the contractor didn't pay their sub or their supplier, in the private world, the person who didn't get paid can file a lien on the property, but in Missouri, the law says you cannot file liens against public property. But to protect the vendors in that situation, we're required to have the contractor get a payment bond, labor and materials payment bond, so that protects them in case something like that happens. We already had that in there, but the language just didn't, it cross-referenced to another document that wasn't a part of the agreement. So we just took the language that we normally have and just plugged it in there.
Okay.
And there was a similar thing with, I think it was liquidated damages, standard provision we have of like $100 a day if they miss the deadline.
Okay.
And it just cross-referenced another document, and that document wasn't a part of this, so we just plugged the language actually into the agreement. That's how we should have done it
Okay.
originally, and I didn't catch it until today, so.
Okay. So just kind of
Sorry about that.
Errors. Yeah. No. That's
Yeah,
okay.
no, there's no, we're not changing the deal or anything
Okay.
like that.
Okay.
Thank you, Chris.
And maybe just to clarify on the timing of doing the sludge removal and getting it annually or doing it every few years. So the city did it in, I believe, 2015 or 2016, and then again in that 2019, 2020, it was partially removed, as Corey mentioned, and so now we're back. Another option that some utilities do is to do an annual agreement, and instead of removing 2.5 million at a time, you might remove 500,000 gallons at a time. Companies like it because they know they have work, right? And then it's nice for the city, particularly have a contractor that is successful and works well. It also you have to then work with the farmers as well to make sure that they can take the sludge removal each year as the cycle of their crop cycle. So, if we were to bring it back, if this company were to work well, we'd go back out to RFP again, maybe bring back a 3 or 4 or 5 year annual maintenance contract. Just depends on how well this year goes and what the cells look like after the sludge has been removed.
Very good. Thank you.
Um,
So the verbiage is insubstantially, correct?
Yeah, if you're inclined to approve it, the motion can be, to approve the agreement with Midwest Injection for the sludge removal services in substantially the form presented to the Board of Aldermen this evening.
Can we just say a motion? with
You
that?
can, right
You can
there.
say so
Right there,
moved.
that's why I had
Make
him
a
do it.
motion to approve based on what Chris just said.
So moved, is what you're supposed to say.
Oh,
but
so
yeah.
moved.
Yeah, okay.
think this
All
is
right,
all
but then I get to
recorded.
say it, right?
Yeah, good luck.
Second?
All right, I have a motion and a second to approve the agreement with Midwest Injection insubstantially of the form and the contract of the verbiage that Chris said. Any discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. The next item on the agenda is a presentation about the amendments to the Chapter 500 building codes. It's you again tonight, Justin.
Yes,
Thanks for being
Mayor,
here.
Board, thank you for the opportunity to do this twice.
Yes.
So tonight, we're gonna kind of go over the remaining 8 code books that we're looking to update / adopt. And just going off the agenda item submission form, I'll just read off of that. Of course, we presented this, the first part of that on July 15th at the Board of Alderwomen meeting on the IBC, the IRC, and the IFC books, which are the rather large ones out of them all. So tonight, again, we'll cover the remaining 8 books, and also the recommended fee changes to update those, and then the ordinance to adopt and implement those changes will go to the board the 19th, which will start the required 90-day review period that's required by state statute. The proposed changes include adopting the 2012 IECC, well, actually 9 books, because I don't have that one yet. The 2017 Accessible and Usable Building Code, 2017 NEC, which is the electrical code, the International Fuel Gas Code, International Plumbing Code, International Mechanical Code, International Existing Building Code, swimming pool and spa, as well as the private sewage. Unfortunately, we have some areas of town where, I guess unfortunate for us, but fortunate for them, they could still use septic tanks. So, I guess just jumping right into it, highlighting some of the significant changes from these books. We'll go with the International Plumbing Code first. One code that is the 305.1, which has been revised to more clearly define areas where metallic piping is to be protected against direct contact with concrete, cinder blocks, concrete floors, framing members, and corrosive soils. Also, the table in 308.5, hanger spacing. The table has been revised to include the hanger spacing for requirements for cross-linked PEX pipe. PEX pipe is, of course, all the rave now. It's easy to work with, flexible, very few joints, and of course, larger polyurethane or I can't even read that. Of raised temperature, PERT pipe, 1.25 inch and larger. In both cases, maximum horizontal spacing is 4 feet, and the maximum vertical spacing is 10 feet. Here you can see where it was discussed as far as the protection of these pipes, whether they're PVC or galvanized, going through a concrete wall, whether it's cinder block concrete. There's your hanger spacing for the PEX pipe. Let's see here. This is the heated floors. Skip one. The IPC, they've also made an amendment to the residential dishwasher waste connection. The waste connection of a residential dishwasher shall connect directly to a Y-branch fitting on the tailpiece of the kitchen sink, directly to the dishwasher connection of a food waste disposer, or through an air brake to a standpipe. The waistline of a residential dishwasher shall rise and be securely fastened to the underside of the sink rim or countertop. Picture of that there. Potable water handling and treatment equipment. They've added a new section there at 608.4. And there, of course, you can see it better on your screen as opposed to mine, it looks like. Um, 7012, connection to sewer required. This section has been revised to further clarify sanitary sewer systems are to be connected to a public sewer system whenever possible. When the public sewer system is not available, the sanitary system must be connected to a private sewage disposal system in compliance with state and local codes. It further clarifies in the absence of state or local codes that the sanitary system must connect to a private sewage disposal system in accordance with the International Private Sewage Disposal Code, which is next. As before, they're comparing the 2012 IPC to the 2018 Private Sewage Disposal Code, mainly breaking it out of the 12 and putting it in, or the 12 IPC and putting it into the 18 Sewage Disposal Code. This piping, building sewer under slab, they made some changes to that. I might have skipped that part. Here we go. 7034, existing building sewers and building drains. This section has been revised to clarify where the entire sanitary drainage system of an existing building is replaced. The existing building drains, under concrete slabs, and existing building sewers serving the new system shall be internally examined to verify the piping is sloping in the correct direction. If anybody's curious about that, it's 1/8 of an inch. To verify the piping is sloping in the correct direction, is not broken, is not obstructed, and is sized for the drainage load of the new plumbing. International Fuel Gas Code, 30331, fireplaces and decorative appliances. Group 1, 2, Condition 2 occupancies. This section has been revised to allow a gas fireplace appliance or decorative gas appliance in Group I2, Condition 2 occupancies where it wasn't before, as long as they're direct vent appliances installed in a public lobby, waiting area, not within smoking compartments containing patient sleeping areas. Appliance controls shall be located where they can only be accessed by facility staff. Of course, there's a picture. A few more, 40342 steel, 614.4 exhaust installation, 614.4.1 exhaust termination outlet and passageway. Just to hit one of those, that last one, this new section states as follows. The passageway of dryer exhaust duct terminals shall be undiminished in size and shall provide an open area of not less than 12.5 square inches. There's a picture of a dryer exhaust if nobody's ever seen one.
By open area, I'm sorry, do they mean from the dryer to the wall, or what are they like?
Correct. That's the way I interpret it.
Well,
Is that weird?
that's very
Yeah,
good.
that, I mean, I've never seen one like that
What
in
do
the
you
new
mean?
codes when I've walked a house.
I don't know who would want, I mean, nobody would want a dryer
That-
sticking out.
And that may be a code that doesn't really be enforced.
It may not be, because I've not seen that yet.
What does it normally look like? What, I'm so
It's more like, it
Yeah,
doesn't
they're
look like that.
closer.
You don't have 12 inches from the wall to the,
Just
Dryer
to your
sticking
dryer.
out over a foot. from
like,
the
look,
wall.
look how much floor space if you had a
Gotcha,
laundry
gotcha,
room.
gotcha.
Okay.
Because ours goes, okay.
Yeah.
So that, I guess now would be the time to amend that if you want me to.
That's up to the ladies.
I would make a movement, excuse me, make a motion that we do amend that.
Yeah.
And
I mean, Rachel, you walked houses too, never seen that.
I'm trying to think how much it normally is, like 4 inches maybe, like if that even?
Maybe,
Yeah,
pretty flush.
yeah,
it's whatever fitting fits
right.
the dryer to the fitting that goes outside.
Well, the one
house.
that, the stub out is probably 4. The rim on the stub's probably 4.
Your guys' dryer sits right up against the wall.
Pretty
I
close.
mean,
Yeah.
is it supposed to?
614.
That's what it's supposed to be like?
Well, not according to this code, but
You're compliant with code.
yeah, you're,
Well, no, it's not. I mean, I think ours goes, well, I don't want to say because I don't want to get in trouble. But I know it's not against the wall.
all right, is somebody,
I
did
don't-
somebody make a motion?
I
Pam,
did.
What was it?
That we amended, I guess back to existing code.
Yeah.
What is existing,
that's what I was going to say.
Justin?
I'll have to look it up.
Oh, no.
You don't have memorized?
I don't
the-
have, like I said, that's one of those codes that,
Oh,
That's crazy.
I mean, there goes your laundry room.
Mm-hmm.
So then your washer and dryer would be up against the wall, and your washer would be up against the wall, your dryer would be out, yeah.
The photograph appears to be of a gas dryer, so I can see where there may have been,
Yeah, but even a
A
gas
neat-
dryer, you
yeah.
wouldn't, you
well,
could run
and
that gas.
codes are misinterpreted all the time. So I'll double check, make sure that that is the case
Okay.
before.
So you need a motion, or?
Well, that's what I was going to
Yeah,
ask. If-
so I think then, what I'm hearing right from the conversation is the intent is not to require that a dryer be that far from the wall.
so.
Well, then-
We'll look at that code, confirm that's exactly what it is meaning, and not another, making sure
Go
we're
back
not
and
misinterpreting
clarify
what it's supposed to be, and now we're
Okay.
deleting out something that should be kept. And then we'll come back and we'll either have that in the ordinance to be amended out or amended to stay with what the current code is.
That's fine. So, to clarify, moving forward this evening, anytime they see something like that, they speak up, the ladies speak up, or they make an amendment or ask a question to be clarified.
Yeah, no, that's,
And then we can come back and get answers next time.
Exactly. There you
Okay.
go.
That way we're
Thank
not
you,
here for
Justin.
3 hours. Yeah.
Right.
Do you guys still want to know what
You don't know.
2012 is?
Oh, I know, you found it. I mean, you can
Found
tell
it.
us if you
Sure.
have it.
Yeah,
but-
go ahead.
Hopefully it's still that.
614, you're getting close.
Oh, I can't see that.
I thought it's.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw it go down a little bit,
Yeah, there.
down a little bit. Right there.
That one, 14.6.
Isn't that duct insulation, is that what we're looking for?
Yeah, 614, 6.2.
Yeah. Is it 4?
There's a
Yeah,
way
but
better
it's
version.
614, so this is,
Uh-oh.
So it's in that,
they've added it.
yeah, it's said in that, what am I trying to say here?
Graph.
The graph,
Chart.
it said 4-inch radius something, I think it was, had some specifics. So I would say if they can go back to it and figure it out,
Yeah.
let us know in the next.
Bring it next time?
Yeah, we'll let you look into it
Okay.
for the sake of time.
That'll be fine.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, so mechanical exhaust ventilation systems. Of course, you're seeing this more and more, especially in, ambulance bays. But now they're making their way into new shops, auto dealers. And there is your closed dryer duct, residential side. Whether it's gas or electric, this one looks like it's electric. One of the things there that they've changed is number 5, where the joints can't be fastened with screws that protrude more than 1/8 of an inch into the duct. Anything longer than that length catches on and
Fire.
starts to build up, cause a fire. The International Mechanical Code, going into chimneys, they've amended 805.7, the insulation shield. Here you can see the common installation for a wood-burning stove. 9014, solid fuel burning fireplaces and appliances, group 1, 2, condition 2 occupancies. Again, they're referring to this new section for solid fuel burning fireplaces to be allowed. Okay, so we get into, in the IMC, Chapter 14, solar thermal systems. This chapter has been revised to address solar thermal systems, not photovoltaic systems. It requires the solar thermal equipment and appliances to be in compliance with ICC G00/SRCC 300. Oh, that's supposed to be 900. That's not a G. And in section 1404, they refer to the labeling of said equipment. Here's how your solar thermal systems, the difference between a solar thermal system, solar photovoltaic system, which, we're getting more and more of each, actually. The NEC, the electric code, 2011 versus the 17. The National Electric Code, the ground fault circuit interrupters, protection for personnel, dwelling units, sinks. This used to be basically anywhere in a kitchen that there was a countertop. Now this has been revised to laundry rooms and other areas where it's wet. But this section here specifically been revised for the sinks, where receptacles are installed within 6 feet from the top inside edge of the bowl of the sink, which the 11 had 6 feet of the outside edge, so.
We really worked on that, didn't we?
A lot of work into that one. Here's where you'll see, when we do inspections, arc faults and ground faults. Our code has been amended to where the only place you're going to see the arc faults, bedroom. Now, you'll see where where they were, the actual 2017 NEC says where arc faults should be going. The green dot, but we're only requiring them in the bedrooms. That's actually no different than what we do with the 12, or the 11, I'm sorry. But the GFCI's protection, of course, kitchen, bathroom, garage, porch, pool area, laundry rooms, they have expanded those areas, and we have decided to expand as well. AFCI versus GFCI, the difference there. The AFCI's trip, they've actually got a breaker with those, where the GFCI's trip at the outlet, and they use a standard breaker.
And so those are mainly for fire prevention, the AFCI?
Yeah. Yeah, basically what it amounts to is it shuts the whole, all the power to the bedroom down. There's nothing. So a lot of folks don't like them. They seem to think that, well, they overload their breakers is what they do, and they pop
Yep.
very easily. So Article 424 through 424.44 has been amended, added a new definition in 680.2, the electronically powered pool lift that you see now having to be put in. Radiant heat floor systems are getting more popular, and then there's your power lift. So Article 690 to 690.11, arc fault circuit protection, direct current. This new section requires arc fault circuit protection for solar photovoltaic systems operating at 80 DC volts or greater. Article 690 to 690.12 involves the rapid shutdown. And that's what a rapid shutdown device looks like. Thank you. Questions and comments?
I could never do your job.
It's a lot of work.
Really, like,
Yeah,
no.
well done.
Thank
It's
you.
an art of, it's not a matter of knowing the code, it's a matter of finding it and finding it fast.
Yeah. Yeah, still no.
Yes.
I'm good, thanks.
Yes.
So that is as far as any, just a short, brief go over in some of the major changes. Like I said, the second half of this was more or less going to be for the fees. I believe you got a copy of what we are looking at. And we went town to town, comparing fees. And we're not the cheapest by no means, but we're also not the most expensive. But what I feel is we've adjusted our fees to a level that will sustain the department. I mean, that's, the obvious goal is to fund the department. So with these fees, that'll push us even further into it. I didn't know if you wanted to cover the fees or you wanted me to. You're doing great. Okay. So just for comparison, on a, is that? Yeah, oh, yeah, okay. So just kind of going down the list, minimum permit fee, right now it's 25, we're raising it $5 to 30. The new build commercial permits, 4 per 1,000 straight. Now, we do use IBTS. So for the new suggested, or recommended, I guess, 400 plus 4 per 1,000, and that will be based on the current building valuation data that's actually published by the ICC. They do it twice a year, and it takes the group classification, and it also takes the type of the build, and what it does is it gives an average price. So we will base it off of the average.
So what would I'm sorry, can we just ask questions?
Yes, you may.
Okay. What would a building permit cost for a single-family home, 4-bedroom, single-family home?
What's the square footage?
2,400.
Well, let's see, let's say I got, let's see, it's 1,500 and 200, right? Or is this not updated? No, that's 15. Okay, or 2,000. So, the second one. Okay, so if we go 2,000, it's actually gonna be, well, what we got now is 990, and it'll go up to 1,320.
Thank you so much.
We broke it down as far as the tenant finish goes. And the remodel for a commercial permit, we felt that there's not much, I guess, plan review involved in those. So we lowered the cost of that. Right now it's the same as a new build. But, you get one of the folks that's down in downtown that decides to renovate, and rather than charging them a new build price, we decided to go with the flat $200 fee for administrative costs, and then the $400 or $4 per 1,000 based on that valuation data. The demo right now, we're $25. Other communities were 5, 6, 7,000. I mean, I was actually surprised. I feel like we need to keep that. We do need to raise it. But I do feel like we need to keep that relatively low, mainly to encourage redevelopment. So, the driveway permit at 35, it'll go up to 40. Deck permit based on the valuation, $4 per 1,000. Again, we're going to go $4 per 1,000 based on the building valuation data table. Electrical permits, we charge those by how many amps that they're installing or upgrading to. Right now, you're looking at, 25, 35, 45, 55. They're just going up 30, 40, 50. The bigger one, the 80 amp, or the 400 amp and the 80 amp, those went up a little bit more than the others just because of the complexity of the inspection. So we do not have a solar panel permit. With the amount of solar panel permits that we are getting, right now, we make them fill out 2 different permits, the building permit as well as the electrical permit, so we can charge them for the amps, because Evergy does come out and pull the meter. So that is a new permit that we're going to put out. And again, we're going to use the building valuation and plus the amp fee and make it 1 permit instead of 2. Fence permit, fences are probably the easiest thing we got. The one that we get right now is 25, we're raising it to 30. Hot tubs are permittable by code, so are above-ground pools. The old fee was 25, new is 30. Mechanical, same. The permanent sign is right now at 75. We raised that to 85. Temporary, 25 is going to go to 30. The plumbing permit, this is one way that we make sure that our tradesmen are licensed. These permits are pulled separately for new builds. But of course, if somebody's also going to do, work on rehabs or remodels, they have to get a permit as well. But right now, it's $25 up to 12 traps. We're going to raise that to 30. Anything over the 12 was $2.50 a trap, and we were going to go to $3. Hot water heaters. Hot water heaters should be pulled with permits. So right now, those are $25, and we're going to raise it to 30.
So for people to like change their own hot water heater, they need to come and get a permit?
They are technically supposed to, yes. But we don't get very many hot water.
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't even.
There's a lot being changed out, I'm sure, but.
Right,
wouldn't have
right.
even known.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't, yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm like,
Never
or
even thought.
even to put in like an above-ground pool. Do people actually come and get permits for above-ground pools? Or, I mean, in-ground, I would say probably, I wouldn't be
Yeah,
surprised. they
the
do, but
in-ground, I mean, generally the contractor will take care
Yeah,
of. but
right.
With the, with
Or a-
the craze of going to Walmart and just buying a pool
Mm-hmm.
now.
Yeah.
The thing to remember is, anytime you're going to do anything on your house, you should call
Oh, I've called
codes
every
or
time.
call city and say, do I need a permit for it?
Yeah, yeah.
And honestly, it covers you, because if your hot water heater got installed incorrectly, or something went wrong, by them checking it and inspecting it, they're making sure everything goes okay.
No, it makes sense. I just didn't
Yeah,
realize.
I mean,
it.
you honestly don't realize it. I mean, I'll go, let's say, an HVAC company comes in and pulls a permit for, new air conditioner and furnace. I go in there to do the inspection on that, and I look right next to it, and there was a hot water heater that was installed 30 days before that.
Yeah,
Doesn't have an expansion tank. It's,
Yeah.
so, yes.
Yeah, I mean,
code, you have
it
to
seems minor, but, water heaters have been known to, they
Yeah. Yes,
explode.
for
And
sure,
the
for
expansion
sure.
tank helps. If you're, either it's going to be powered with electricity or gas. And then on the pools, main concern there is to make sure that it's not accessible to kids. So it
Yeah.
needs to either
Yeah.
have a ladder that prevents it from being accessed. And then, unfortunately, the above-ground pools, people often don't think too much about them. They buy them, and then later on they say, oh, I want to add this, or I want to increase the powers of the jets. And they put a pump.
Or add
Water,
a deck.
electricity don't go well together. And so,
Right.
yeah, there are
It makes
considerations.
sense. I just didn't realize.
So if said person didn't do that, and then you see that hot water heater, then do we Do we fine them, or do we charge them for their permit, or what happens right there?
Well,
Or if you drive by and see somebody put in a swimming pool
Yeah.
last week,
yeah.
and they didn't get a permit, what do we do as a city?
I mean, we obviously, we try with light enforcement, do a door hanger and
You
just
do a
let
door
them know.
hanger?
Yeah. The water heaters, they could say, well, that was 5 years ago.
Sure,
Even though I know it wasn't.
Yeah, you can tell, I know, yeah. No, I was just using
So-
that as an example.
Yeah, I mean, anytime we see stuff in progress, we try to catch it and go with the light enforcement at first, but, obviously if it doesn't work that way, then we can issue tickets.
Gotcha.
I think this would be really good information to put in our water bill at some point.
Agree
Like,
completely, yes.
what you need to file a permit for and how it benefits you as a citizen to file a permit.
Yeah.
Just, because
I think people
I'm
just
learning.
don't
I didn't
know.
know. Yeah, yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, no, that's a good point, and we definitely can work on that. And I think one of the things that we see, unfortunately, at City Halls at times, is people don't get a permit, they hire some fly-by-night company, they do shoddy work, and then they come in and say, what am I supposed to do? And it's
Yeah.
like, well, the thing that does help you is to make sure that they get a permit, they're licensed and insured.
Yes.
It used to be a bigger deal, people would put that on their van, right? Licensed and insured, and they're proud of it, and unfortunately, some people get caught by a bad contractor, and it's hard to fix things after the fact.
Yeah,
Yeah, that happens more than you realize.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it'll still be left that an individual can pull a permit to put his own
Oh, yes,
anything, and the way I read
Yeah.
this was,
Yes.
Okay.
yeah,
You just want it inspected, even though you put it in, Pam.
right.
Also, the permits are available online on the website as well.
Oh, good to know.
Things that you need to have a permit for are listed.
Of course there are, because Kim's all over it.
Yeah.
So it's just a little bit of information. So
Yeah.
If the homeowner was looking to do a project, they could go online, they could see if they needed the permit, and then they could also get the permit.
Yeah.
Right.
I just wouldn't have even thought to check the website on
Yeah.
most of this stuff, because
Yes.
it just never occurred to me that you need a permit for, but,
Yeah.
yeah.
How do you even know how to get a new one? Like, I need someone to come inspect my house, because I don't know if any of my stuff's right.
We'll talk.
Is there rules? Okay, Rachel, can you come check
Yeah,
my house?
Let Rachel.
I inherited it, and I don't know what's going on
You
down
get a
there.
home inspector, yeah.
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 Yeah, that's where you pay the home inspector to
Yeah,
go
you
in.
pay the home inspector, but yeah, but an older house is not gonna be the code that it was when it was built,
Yeah,
so
right.
things are gonna be
Yeah.
different, so, yeah.
In-ground pool permit, right now, again, at $4 per 1,000. Same with the residential building permit. We're going to change that to the $4 per 1,000 based on the building valuation data. Let's see, where am I at? Okay, right-of-way permit right now is at 35. Raise that to 40. Roof permit, this one's going to be a change. Roofs tend to knock us off schedule quite a bit. They'll say that they're going to be ready for a mid-roof at 10 o'clock. We show up at 10 o'clock and, they've only got half of it torn off and, well, can you come back? And we show up and then, well, can you come back? And there's a lot of drive time when it comes to roofs. A lot of labor that's put into, inspections where they weren't ready. I stole this one actually from Grain Valley. They do it based on valuation. And that is how we're going to recoup some of our costs there. Also, when you're looking at it, the same guy that's got a 900 square foot house, he pays $25 for a roof permit. The guy that's got a 4,000 square foot house pays $25 for the roof permit. And it just doesn't make any sense when it comes to our inspections.
Yeah,
I mean,
very good.
Some of those we have to, we do over the course of 2 or 3 days. So,
So those, just to, will you stop there, those inspections, so, are you talking about re-roof or new construction?
well,
Re-
no. Well, I'm talking about a replacement roof. Yeah.
Re-roof, okay.
Does
And
new-
then, go ahead.
Sorry, for new construction, do they need to file an individual permit for a roof as well, or is that?
No, that's part of their building.
Okay.
Under the builder. So the only thing we require subcontractor additional permit for is plumber.
Plumber.
Everything else falls under the builder, electrical falls under the builder
No,
and
no, no.
HVAC?
No, plumbing, electrical, and mechanical.
The three, do we do the three, and
Yeah.
mechanical?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
And if they add a irrigation, that's a separate
Yes.
permit.
Okay.
So, and then the rest of the driveways, the roofs, all that's worked into the building.
Which, so because it's worked into the building, do we do a midway inspection on new construction roofs like you do on a re-roof?
Well,
Mid-roof.
we've discussed that. And we used to. When I first got here, we used to do that.
Yeah.
It was a battle to get, to get the superintendents to call for those inspections. Of course, it was the height of the pandemic as well, the height of when everything was just blowing up and, you know, everything was just crazy anyway. But we've decided that, we're moving forward with this new, that we will.
You will call for a mid-roof?
Yep.
And, go ahead.
Do other communities around do that also?
The reason why, I mean, honestly, the reason why we didn't, we were doing it, and then we decided to stop is number one, like I said, I couldn't get anybody to call me to schedule it. And so what that tells me is that, no, other communities don't.
Aren't doing it, okay.
And, but, a lot of this, these guys do these roofs on the weekends.
Yeah.
So we've tried to educate the superintendents and the project managers that we have now that we're working with, that is not allowed technically by city code to work on weekends. So, we could try to enforce it that way. So they're doing them through the week and making sure that they're calling us for the mid-roofs, but
That's such a tough
Yeah.
line to walk because we want people to want to build here. We don't want to be the one city that's requiring this and making it harder for them. But also, like, I feel like you miss so much if you don't see the midway, see them midway is done. I am a real estate agent by day and had a deal this week where there's a roof in Oak Grove that was not done properly.
Right.
And it's only 2 years old. And it's like, man, it should have been caught by the homeowners as a part of their home inspection and stuff.
Right.
And they didn't do that. But I don't know. I don't know how you have accountability, but also not make the builders not want to build here,
Do we list out our list of inspections to the builder? They get a list, and so when it gets to roof, it just says inspection for roof. Does it say inspect for ice and water shield? Because I
Well,
think that's the thing that's
yeah.
probably missed
I
the
mean,
most.
it did, but once I took it off, obviously no, but
Yeah,
once, and that could be, I tell, I guess, send me pictures.
well, that was what I was going to say. I work for a builder, one of the cities that we do inspections for, we send a picture for certain things like that, because
Right.
it's a one-man show. And so for mid-roof and for other things, our project managers just send a photo.
Yep.
So they can keep production going.
And that way, we could do it that way. That may be a little bit easier for the,
For your
the
process.
supers. Yeah, and
Yeah.
us.
And then if everything wasn't checked off at the end, then it's noted on their C of O, right?
Correct.
You missed these inspections.
It'd be listed
Then
as a
hopefully a
condition.
homeowner asks to see the C of O when they buy the house.
Yeah.
Any thoughts?
Yeah. I like that process. So it's a separate check. Is like, did they send us the picture of the?
Yeah, be part of the checklist. Maybe there's other things that are missed that need to be added. I don't know, just like Rachel said, you don't want to make the building process harder for the builder, but we also want them to build here, but we want to protect our citizens for the houses that they're getting built as well. And you want them to have a good home built in the community.
Yeah, that's the point of this.
It's the whole point of inspections.
exactly.
And in the long run, people fight inspections, but then they're the, you know, they're not
First
fighting.
thing
it.
they go to,
Yeah,
it works in their
then,
favor.
then it's sad when you don't get an inspection on something. But I don't want, I mean, I don't know, would that really burden you then getting photos? Or is there an email that they would email photos to under their permit number or something?
Well, and I mean, that's something we're actually working on now.
Oh,
is,
good.
With Citizen Serve, working towards more online options for the builders.
Good.
We're actually hoping to get to where they're doing online permits and trying to get away from paper.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would serve you better, you know, if there's things that the women can, you know, we can talk about and purchase that would make the permitting and the inspection process easier for city staff. I think that's a welcome thing to talk about.
Absolutely.
And I mean, you know, as we go through these inspections, you know, so many things that are, you know, I guess when you try to fill forms out, you know, this big red box comes up and it, you know, you need to fill this out.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe somehow or another we can work with Citizen Serve to, you know, once it gets in that point in the build to where, you know,
Absolutely.
it comes up and we make sure that we try to catch that before, you know, the final.
Yeah.
May I ask a question regarding the weekend? Right now, they're allowed to build during the weekend, correct?
No,
No, they're not allowed to.
Nope.
And so there would be no change in that? I mean, because certainly things happen during the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting, okay.
yeah. I mean, there's a code that, you know, regulates that, prohibits that unless it's emergency work.
Okay.
And it's no construction or just no roofing on the weekends?
No construction.
No construction.
We've had to, this year, I mean, the main violators were the companies that were doing the fiber. So, I mean, that's what we were getting the calls on.
Is that normal too? Is that pretty standard around the area?
I have not seen a code like that. I mean, I haven't seen I've seen the code where, for heavy equipment,
Yeah, like noise makes sense, but
but
like they're inside
yeah,
painting.
our ordinance, the way that it reads is basically nope.
Can we can we look at that?
Yes,
Can,
you can.
can you guys look into what cities around us do with that?
Yeah.
Because that's something that we could make easier on the builders. It's kind of a no-brainer for.
Yeah, because you
Do they
know,
See
I know that
excavating
it
and
happens.
things
Yes,
like
and
that.
it's loud, sure.
I was gonna say, do they complain? Do you hear it get?
That's what I was gonna
I
ask.
don't-
like,
I-
is
I
there
mean,
concern with it? It's been
I've-
like this
Well,
for,
it's happening. You
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah, they're
It's
just
just,
doing it.
yeah.
And is it good use of city, time to be fielding phone calls about, I mean, is it really hurting anyone? If
are you
you're-
getting a lot of phone calls about it? Okay.
From, I thought you
That's
said you had
good
about the fiber.
Well, it would go back
Except
to
for
what
fiber,
you
yeah.
said about the permitting and the inspection part. I mean, you could only go so far on the weekend because you can't call for an inspection on the
Right.
weekend. So
Exactly, yeah.
you shouldn't be doing a roof, or you shouldn't be mid-roof on a weekend.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be calling for an electrical finish on a weekend.
Right.
But if they're educated and that's in their packet, does that need a motion, or can just be added to, you'll bring it back?
Yeah, we'll bring it back, yeah.
Did you already say it?
Yeah, can you direct city staff to
Yeah.
bring it back to us? Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, we'll take a look. I mean, there's been some good discussion tonight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the 90 days, our target is to get this adopted by January 1st, just so
Yeah.
it's easy. That gives us some more time, so we could either have another discussion the next meeting in August about these things and bring back, you know, some questions about the dryer exhaust, also construction on weekends, maybe even look at what inspections, like the mid-roof, should be added to new construction. I mean, if that might be worthwhile to have another quick presentation discussion about that, and then bring back a final ordinance in September.
Yeah.
First meeting in September, that would still give us the 90 days.
I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
Very good.
So moving down to the shed, accessory building permit, you know, again, same standard as just a residential permit. Erosion control. Erosion control is one of the biggest things we battle. And right now, our fee for erosion control is $100. And, that is supposed to be refunded at the end of the build, but every builder violates that. I think I've maybe given that deposit back maybe twice.
And it's only $100.
It's only $100. Wow. We've talked about it, and what we want to do is raise it to $300. And what happens is that's a deposit. So every time that they fail, $50 is taken from that deposit. Once they run out of $300, they're, I guess, fined.
Stop work order
Charged. No, they'll be
Oh,
charged
charged.
$50.
on top of the 300.
Right. And they'll have to pay that fee when they come, obviously, to close out their permit.
They can't get their C of O unless they close out that fee.
And
That's good.
of course, we inspect it, we try to do it as much as we can daily, but, we at least inspect the erosion control whenever we obviously go out and do a different inspection. Generally, we're doing 2 inspections. We're doing an erosion control inspection and, ground rough pulling or, whatever.
Right.
So.
Very good.
So the residential final inspection fee, that was considerably low in my opinion. So it was 25, we're gonna raise that to 50. The commercial final inspection fee done as far as square feet, it was up to 10,000. It was 50. We raised that to 100. 100 for anything over 10,000. We raised that to 200. Reinspection fees, that was something that was not in the code. We were giving those away. So now they'll get 2 fails with their permit, but after that, we charge them $50. Commercial reinspection fee, same thing. The plan review fee on the residential side, $25, we're raising that to $50. The commercial plan review fee, it was 25 cents per $1,000 value of work. I did a commercial permit the other day where it was $3.75 for us to look at their plans.
What'd you change that to?
Yeah, it's a $200 admin fee, and then
Okay.
it's $1 per 1,000, up to 10,000 square feet, based on the data by the ICC.
Very good.
Let's see here. And then for the anything over 10,000 square feet, of course, they'll pay the $200, $1 per 1,000, and then that's when it'll drop a little bit to 25 cents. So we at least get our admin cost. And, also pay towards IVTS when we use them. So tenant finish remodel, again, we looked at that differently. We're gonna change that to $50, and then the $1 per 1,000, based on the valuation table. So a lot of times, of course, we give them as many, we'll hand them checklist after checklist after checklist. They don't use them. I'm emailing constantly, I need this, I need that. So we're doing plan review over plan review over plan review. Again, we were giving that away for free. So now we want to charge $25 for each additional plan review on the residential side. Commercial side, we want to charge $50. Temporary certificate of occupancy. This happens quite a bit. These guys will close on a house without sod, because we have a code that allows them to do that as long as they put down escrow. And we don't charge them for a temporary. So now we want to change that to where that temporary costs them $100. regardless. Hopefully, that will get them to finish the house before they sell it.
Yes.
How long is a
Very
temporary
good.
occupancy?
Technically, it's for 30 days. For 30 days.
And then what do you do?
Well,
When they're-
there's so many that we honestly rely on the superintendents and I guess the builder to ultimately call us back and want us to do that reinspection, because within that 30 days, they've got money tied up in the title company, and you would think, here's the CO, so I can get my money.
Right.
Well, there's so many title companies out there, banks, I guess, financial institutions that don't care. They're just giving it back to them, I guess, if they send them pictures of it. So it's tough with the TCOs, and that's why we put a $100 price on it.
So when the TCO expires in 30 days, then if they don't renew it at 30 days, is it another $100?
We don't have that in.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
yeah.
can we set it goes up over, you know what I mean? Like the longer after 30 days, it's X dollars a week or whatever, and, I mean, is that a thing? Because that seems like you guys have all these outstanding,
Oh,
that you have to go chase
Yeah.
down, like,
Yeah, so one of the things that makes the TCOs tough is just that they often come to us, say, hey, we're closing next week, tomorrow, I don't have sod. We say, okay, so we'll let them escrow the amount of money for sod, but then at that point, the home has changed hands, right? So the new owners have moved in, and so if the TCO then expires, technically that would be on the new owners who would be responsible for trying to get a CO for the house that they're currently occupying.
Can't we just say,
Really?
no, you can't sell the house?
Because
until
it's
you have
now
to
they're
sell the
legally
house.
their house, right? So
it comes apart as the weather.
the escrow account is still in the builder's name, of
Right.
course. But
We pay for all of our TCO fines through KCMO, Blue Springs, all of them.
yeah, so we could charge the builder you couldn't, I'm saying if we were to enforce it, to say, okay,
Yes.
you don't have a TCO, and the builder is gone, we'd have to enforce it on the owner, right? Because there would be no one else around to do it.
You mean if the builder dissolves, does,
Yeah,
start
or
around?
doesn't have another building permit in our city, right? So if somebody comes in, they build a house,
right.
He has
Got
no
it.
reason to care.
Right,
have no
they
reason
don't
to
have-
care what
right.
they
Stop
say.
work order.
Yeah.
yeah, so the house has been
Wow.
changed hands to a
Yeah.
new owner, and then that builder is, if they're not here anymore.
Well, then I would charge
builders
more.
Most builders are doing more than one, though. Like, the
Right.
vast majority are doing a
So
subdivision
the,
here, so.
the thing that does get the TCOs finished up is the escrow amount, because they have the money sitting out there in
Right.
escrow now, unless they get with the bank and try to get their escrow back when they really shouldn't. And we only are escrowing for somewhat minor things. I mean, sod, landscaping, maybe some splash guards.
Yeah,
The idea of the code was that if it's an inappropriate month to plant, so it's August and it's 100 degrees,
Sure.
you don't want to put sod down, or if it's January, trees will die. So I think some builders take advantage of that, though, and say,
Shocking.
oh,
There's no interior thing that we would allow.
No,
no,
I do not.
no, just exterior.
yeah, and the reason we do that, and we only do exterior stuff, is so that we're not, bothering the new homeowner, saying, hey, we need to come inside your house and look at some stuff that
Well, it just
the
puts
builder, that way because we're trying to insulate the new
Right.
homeowner who's purchased a house.
Right.
Right.
One of the things that has gotten better with time is lenders now are wanting to see TCOs and COs. When things were crazy and the market was moving very quickly, people were closing on houses that didn't have a TCO or CO. And we don't get notified that a house is closing. People are allowed to transfer ownership of homes. And so then the people come in and say, hey, we need to get insurance. Where's our TCO? Well, or a CO. Well, you don't have one. Your builder hadn't completed certain inspections. So, but it's better now because now lending institutions, maybe I think they learned their lessons, are now requiring that at closing more often.
I mean, you would know, I guess, when they came to, or got the water transferred or something in their name.
Yeah, true.
Right,
Most of the lenders are requiring it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen one that hasn't.
I mean.
so it's 100 at 30 days.
I mean, yeah, I see the problem.
I do
but
too.
Also, it's like no accountability, but also like sometimes legitimately, it's not a good time to put sod in.
Yeah.
No,
Like sometimes.
right.
I mean, we could
Just for
be,
those-
Like, make it not like, okay, from January to March, you'll get that, whatever it is. The rest of the year you have to put sod in.
Well,
Or is it just
it's-
anytime they want?
Yeah, like when it's 110 out,
Right, I
there's
know,
not
I'm
even
not-
sod to
yeah.
cut to do it, and then in the winter, they can't get to the
So it's
fields to
just whenever
cut
they
it,
want.
and you never know what type of winter or summer we're gonna have here in the Midwest.
Right, and then the sod contractors get backed up, and so then they're trying to get to 8 different
Yeah,
owners.
it's
Yeah, and then if it
rains.
If it rains too
rain
much, they
delays
can't
it.
cut it because it's muddy, so there's always a litany of
Yeah.
reasons. I think one of the things that makes challenge with TCO, as I mentioned, is that it technically, if your TCO is
Yeah.
expired, you don't have a temporary occupancy permit, you know, I mean, by code, you shouldn't be living there, right? But we're not going and red tagging
What do
houses
other
at
cities do?
31 days.
Do we know?
what's that?
What
What do other cities do with-
cities do?
With the TCOs,
When they
what
expire.
we're doing.
No.
Yeah, they fine them,
Yeah.
but usually the builder pays.
I mean, $100 is better than 0, at least we made that much
Yeah,
money.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead, Justin.
Okay. Certificate of occupancy, we're not charging for that. We want them to do that, so.
You want them to finish. Very well, very good.
Now, we do have permits that, it's go, 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 and I get them done, and then it's lay there, lay there, lay there, lay there, lay there, lay there. So, we decided to put, an admin fee, for over 30 days, payment delay.
Oh,
So, that would be $50. Right now, we don't charge for that. Expired permit, this is actually, it's actually in an ordinance, the ordinance that, but just for your knowledge, again, if somebody's, permit was to expire, which is, 6 months, or, the date of the last inspection, so it starts over. So it's not like they gotta build a house in 6 months. So, but if it gets to where it's like some of those that are on 17th and Stonewall, those permits are obviously expired. And we didn't have it in the code to do this. So the ones that actually pulled the permit, that bought those houses from Grant's Homes, they did, you know, we didn't charge them for tap fees and because those impact fees were already paid, but we did charge them for the permit. So, but in the future, it'll be 50% of the original applicable permit cost. So, and then this is one that, you know, if we commencing work without first obtaining a permit, again, there was no charge for that. We just, you know, told them to come down to City Hall, fill out the permit, it'll be all right. Now it's double the original permit fee. So, any questions?
What about a lot trash fee? How does that work now? We don't require dumpsters, right?
Well.
There's
in-
trash all over
Yeah, I mean,
subdivisions.
in the code now, we've added, I guess, more muscle behind it to
Okay.
require, you know, porta potties, dumpsters, that kind of thing. Now, as far as, you know, if it gets out of control, then code enforcement will, you know, deal with the trash.
And is there a fine for?
Yeah, we can issue, I mean, through, not through the building side of it, but code enforcement side, we can issue them a ticket.
But in the building permit process, in the checklist, they're not required to keep trash contained within, you know, some municipalities require that you put it in a box, some say you put it in the garage, some say you have to have a dumpster per every 4 to 6 houses.
Yeah, I mean, right now, there's nothing that spells that out, but there will be.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, can you look into that, but okay, it sounds
No,
like you're on it.
there will be.
Okay, perfect.
That's already there.
Was that
So,
it?
That's it. Unless
Justin,
have
you
any-
did fantastic. Thank you for all your time and yours and the rest of city staff doing this. I think it's long overdue.
Clearly, yeah.
Very good discussion, questions. When was the last time that we changed the fees for building permits in the city of Oak Grove? I know we had a hold on it for several years. We gave permits away.
Yeah, the last major update was in '02 and '04, and then there was a minor update in 2016.
Okay,
2016.
nice. Well done. Well done, staff.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a question. Could I get your PowerPoint from last time emailed to me? Because it's so hard to read on the
Yeah.
thing. So, that, yeah, I just want to, since we're going to come back and reassess this again next meeting, I want to make sure I get a good look at that one
Is
too.
it in the shared drive?
Yeah, we'll email both
Okay,
PowerPoints
okay,
out too.
awesome, thank you.
I would like a copy as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
me too.
Yeah.
I think the PowerPoint's
Either
easier.
email it or put it in the shared drive if it's too big and just let us know.
Yep.
okay. So we can all like marinate on it and see if we think of any other questions, make sure.
Very good.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
All right, the next item on the agenda is information reports. Matt, do you have one?
No, thank you, Mayor.
Justin, you don't have one, right? Okay, yeah.
Got more to say.
Mark?
Outdoor warning siren test Wednesday, weather permitting.
Okay, thank you. Chief?
Next Friday is blood drive, still plenty of spots open from 11 to 3 down here.
Next Friday?
Next Friday.
Okay, all right. Corey?
No report.
Kim? Chris?
I've already said substantially more than a normal.
There you go. I wrote it down so I can remember that word. I like it. Scott?
I just want to remind everybody, this is the last full week of normal full operating
Oh my
hours.
God.
After this week, we'll go weekends only. And that's because of staffing. That's the only reason.
Already. Rachel?
Everyone vote tomorrow.
Good job. Yep. Kelly?
No report.
Sierra?
No report.
Pam?
No report.
I don't have a report either. Just once again, Justin, well done. Thank you. Looking for a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.